Joe Biden has tested positive for COVID-19. According to the White House, Biden will continue to carry out his duties while isolating until he tests negative for the virus. The president is fully vaccinated and has received 2 boosters. Officials say he is experiencing mild symptoms.
My husband tested positive for COVID. I talked to him just a few minutes ago. He's doing fine. He's feeling good. I tested negative this morning. I am going to keep my schedule. I am, according to CDC guidelines, I am keeping masks.
Before I begin, I do want to speak about our incredible president, Joe Biden. This morning, he and I spoke by phone. He is in good spirits. He is feeling well. He is doing well. He is fully vaccinated and twice boosted. And of course he is. And as everyone who would encourage, who is eligible, would do the same. And he is working from the White House residence. And when we spoke, he was very pleased, as I said, that we were all here together today, talking about the work our administration is doing on behalf of parents and working families and all who deserve to be seen and heard.
On my way here, I learned that our president is perhaps diagnosed with COVID. I understand that the symptoms are light. I hope they continue to be so. That was my experience, and I hope that that's the case for the president.
Let's bring back now CNN Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN Medical Analyst Dr. Lena Wen, and CNN Chief White House Correspondent Caitlin Collins. Sanjay, first to you. Dr. Josh says that the president's been working all morning, says he feels fine. What did you hear?
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of saying that these are mainly mild symptoms, that he expects them not to worsen given the amount of immunity he has from the vaccines and his boosters, and that they're going to wait until he tests negative before he would come out of isolation. That's basically what I heard. What was interesting as well, I think, is the testing. You know, this came up a few times with the questions. Sounds like President Biden tested negative on Tuesday. Tested positive this morning, we know, but may have had some symptoms earlier than that. And that's relevant for a couple of reasons. One is it's important to know when he may have been contagious. People can be contagious 2 days even before they develop symptoms, but also give an idea of how long he's likely to stay positive before he'll actually have a negative test. So those are the big things. They spent a lot of time saying, hey, look, this is what the president gets. Everyone else has access to this as well. That's what Dr. Joss spent most of his time talking about.
Dr. Wen, that's what we were wondering. So how long do we think, if he just, let's pretend that the president just had symptoms this morning when he woke up, though we know he had something of a fitful night. So that means that, as Sanjay just said, he was contagious yesterday and Tuesday, though he had tested negative. And yesterday, I mean, we have video of this event. He was with a lot of people. He was shaking hands. He was speaking very closely. It was outside. But I would imagine that contact tracing is going to be difficult. And how many of those people do you think will end up with COVID now, Dr. Wen?
It's really hard to say because there are a couple of things happening here. So I think it's really reassuring that President Biden tested negative on Tuesday. And so it's unlikely that on Tuesday he had a high enough viral load to test positive and therefore also to be able to infect other people. So we're really looking at Wednesday, yesterday, as that time period. Now, he was in close contact with a lot of people, even though it was outside, which is relatively protective. But we also know that BA.5, the dominant variant now, is extremely contagious. And so I think that looking at all those people that he was exposed to yesterday would be important. Now, hopefully, all those individuals are up to date with their vaccines, which means that they are very well protected against severe illness if they were to contract COVID. And there are certain precautions they should be following. For example, they should be wearing a mask when in public places. They should also be getting tested now and then getting tested again in 5 days' time. We have the protocols at this point. We know how to manage this. And actually, what I heard in this briefing is that the White House is doing everything right. They're following all the precautions by the CDC, and they're being, very importantly, very transparent about how they're conducting their operations.
Hey folks, guess you heard this morning I tested positive for COVID. but I've been double vaccinated, double boosted. Symptoms are mild, and I really appreciate your inquiries and your concerns. But I'm doing well. I'm getting a lot of work done. I'm going to continue to get it done, and in the meantime, thanks for your concern, and keep the faith. It's going to be okay.